Doemaal, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is going to be flatlines. If you want to recover from your whole issue, you have to understand flatlines, because this flatline is a withdrawal symptom you will inevitably experience, and it's not a great thing, but if you pull through it, you will be fine. But got a question for you guys. Did you know this? That professional athletes use NoFap and retention to improve themselves, strengthen themselves, and prepare for the contest. Which means during their contest they're still performing NoFap and retention to be hyper focused and strong in the moment where they have to compete against one another or each other. So let's start off with the flatline. But there is a thing that comes first, and y'all know it. It's called the superpowers. And what are those superpowers? Well, when you start doing NoFap, you'll feel amazing. You wake up in the morning, you'll have more energy, you'll be much happier, you will feel more confident. That energy that you feel is something you will express on a daily basis for as long as you feel it before the bell rings. Another thing as a superpower is a high libido and a great mood. You will feel like you can take on the whole world or something similar. You'll have a better concentration and no brain fog. But what is most definitely a thing that you will feel is motivated. You will feel as if you're about to do things that you've never done before. You're suddenly thinking about starting your own business, or, for example, building your own house, etc. Or, how about this? You're ready to do something completely different. For example, you just want to explore the whole world and learn to survive on your own without any money, etc. You think like, if I do this, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to be this person. I'm going to be free. I want to be able to take care of myself if poop hits the fan. But then somebody is at front of your door.
Can I come in now?
Oh man, it's Flatline. And he is coming. He's standing in front of the door. He wants to stay at your house. But now is the question, for how long? See, how long the Flatline stays, that all depends on how fast everything rewires. So you gotta take your time. Not everybody's the same. Never compare yourself to someone else. There are people who did it faster than I did. But my focus was not on fast how that person did it. My focus was on if I can get out of this mess, which I did for 8 years already, and how long it will take in order to feel better. But I couldn't answer that question, so I had to sit it out. Another thing is, which definitely is something you have to consider, is your dopamine system. That depends on the recovery of it. Because, admit it, it took a big hit. Like really a big hit. When I'm going to say this, I'm serious about it. But it's similar to substance abuse. Worse than that, because it's actually for free and available everywhere if you have a phone. So the next thing is that it also depends on what other addiction you may have. Think about this. You may be heavily addicted to caffeine or sugar or anything else for that matter. For example, gaming. So if you're still addicted, that Flatline is going to hang around for quite a while. And don't be surprised if it takes really long. So you have to take these things into consideration. The next thing is that it depends on the measures you take to improve your life. So what do I mean by that? What is your goal? That's what I'm talking about. What are you willing to do to improve your life? So, are you going to have the same kind of life that you had now? Or are you going to make a change for the better? The next thing is similar to this one, but how you live your life. In this case, stressful or stress free. See, stress is an important factor to take into consideration. Why do I say this? People who are very prone to stress, who have a stressful life, will always seek that escape, always seek that relief. They're very prone to relapses. If you're going to make a change in your life, to improve your life, which one of them is a stress-free life that you have to focus on, when you're living stress-free, you'll be less likely to have a relapse compared to somebody who has a head full of stress when he's coming back from work or anything similar. And especially the home situation. If you're married or having a girlfriend, boyfriend relationship, which I don't know, but you get my point. So the next thing is also similar to this, but what you do with your life. It depends on your actions and dedication. See, you cannot be like, yeah, I'm just going with the flow and I'll see what happens. No, you have to be dedicated. Put yourself in a well. And this well has no ladder to climb out. However, you can climb out of this well, but it will take time and effort. So, are you going to sit there and wait for somebody to help you get out? Or are you going to climb out yourself and put time and effort in it? That's how important it is to take action. To take action and be dedicated to get out of this mess. Because those who are out of this mess, they're living their lives. And I want you to be amongst them. So, this flatline, how is it? Now, there are a lot of things that you can experience during a flatline, but I will only mention 6. And I think you will see the resemblance. I think you'll find them. Here they are. You feel dull, empty, lethargic, or anything similar. Oh, you get where I'm going with this one, huh? Because the next one is, you got it, insecure instead of confident. So, when you're feeling a flatline, a lot of people will face insecurities again. So this whole superpower that you had for a moment will be gone for a moment before it comes back. So then the insecurity will hit you again. But the only thing is, you have no idea how to deal with it. Because you've never experienced it before. You've never experienced something like this coming back at you. You don't know where it's coming from. But it's actually coming from a flatline. Once you make that connection, you will have an understanding. This way, you can just sit it out and do other things in order to improve yourself to be more confident later on. So the next thing is, of course, you've guessed it, just like I predicted, not predicted, I'm the one who made it. Sorry about this. But it's tired and you have no desire in anything. Best way to put it. Everybody's enjoying their life and you don't want to. You'd rather stay at home while the sun is shining. You have no energy. You barely have any motivation. You see people enjoy, but you can't actually understand how they can enjoy because you're not feeling what they're feeling. And that's something you have to deal with at that moment. But we will get to the solution part. The next thing is the loss of libido and no desire in a man or woman, because NoFap is for both men and women. Yes, women have this issue as well. There are, to my understanding, almost as much women as men who are suffering from this on a daily basis. Some people who will admit it, and some people who are in denial. But before you even think about, okay, so we men, no. Think about how everybody is in this category. You don't think that when you open a certain tab, that they have no category aimed towards women? You gotta be out of your mind if you don't even believe that. As a matter of fact, here is my perspective. I think women are even suffering a bit more problems than men. But that is a video I will make later on to clarify what I mean. So let's go on with the next, and that is brain fog and terrible focus. You will start to have tired feelings when you try to use your brains, thinking about things you want to do, feeling motivated to do something, to stand up and walk around and do chores or start with something you always wanted to do. You'll have a terrible focus and brain fog. As a matter of fact, I think you're going to abort that and wait until you feel better. In some cases, that may work. In some cases, it's better to still start doing so. And of course, no motivation. So this no motivation is already something that you'll feel with the terrible focus and brain fog and desire and no desire in anything at all. So this flatline. What can I do when I have a flatline? Well, this is something that may surprise you. But you have to check your diet and remove refined sugar from it completely. If you cannot go a day without sugar, that is your second problem. See, this whole flatline is all connected to your dopamine. If you're quitting one problem, but still have another problem, that problem may even be worse. What do I mean by that? Haven't you noticed that those who try to quit smoking, they always tend to eat more? Why is that? It's because of the dopamine they get from it. They'll have the dopamine hit. And that is something that you need to work on. If you can remove sugar completely, which is also a highly addictive substance, if you can solve this issue, you're going to make a difference and have less flatline time than someone else has when he's still eating excessive amounts of sugar, or in my case Dr. Pepper, which is liquid candy, but you get my point. Still love it though. So having that done, the next thing to do is exercise, and make sure to lift weights and do cardio at least 4 times per week. You will make all the difference when you're still keeping your body active. You will make all the difference when your body is fighting off some odd stuff in your body. And with weightlifting, having a healthy diet, and cardio, you're going to make yourself a lot healthier. And a healthier body is a body that recovers faster, which means it will also recover faster from a flatline. Now, the next thing, this will be a problem for you. And what is it? Is taking a break from social media that includes YouTube as well. You're still wasting dopamine through scrolling, and it has an adverse effect on you. See, what you don't understand is that these social media outlets, they're designed for your dopamine system. Because haven't you noticed that those who are really addicted to their phone, they're always scrolling and looking for the next dopamine hit? That instant gratification. That whole I'm going to see and seek if there's something pleasurable to watch or to find or to read or to see on YouTube, on Instagram, Snapchat, or Facebook, or any similar social media platform that has a high amount of people talking and being there. So what do? You take a break from social media. Because if you're no longer eating refined sugar, if you're doing NoFap, and you quit social media for that moment, you're no longer wasting dopamine. So all the dopamine that you would waste would actually refill your receptors. If I'm saying this right, if there is a professional who's seeing this and says, Ray, you're almost right, however, it doesn't refill, it does this and that, please drop a comment in the comment section and I would correct myself. So, having this said, here is another thing that you need to have, and that is a daily routine. And when your tasks and chores are done, end your day and be willing to be bored, which means no TV, no radio, no gaming or anything similar. Why? It's because when you're watching TV, you're still trying to distract yourself. You're still using dopamine. Eventually, you just like on social media, you're going to zap and look for the next program and next program. You're going to look for something that's going to interest you. What you need to do is to bore yourself, which will actually reverse most of your problems. Because we're actually over consuming a lot of things that drain our dopamine, period. And when I mean no radio, I actually mean no radio, it means no music, no MP3 player, none of that. No music, even music works on your dopamine system. Similar with gaming. And last but not least, that is the cold shower before going to bed, and right after wake up. Right after you wake up. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. So, when you have a cold shower before bed, or right after you wake up, you will notice over time there are some benefits. What they are, I will be explaining them in a different video. But when I said last but not least, it was only meant for this, because there was another thing that we have to talk about. And that's the real last but not least. The last but not least is let it take time. Don't rush anything. Recovery takes time and patience, and this is my 8th year. Do you really think that I was impatient and didn't take my time in the past 8 years? Let's talk about the first year, the first few months. I took my time because I desperately wanted to get out of that mess that I was in. So if I was in that mindset, in what mindset should you be then if you want to get out of your mess as well? See, here is the deal. If I can do 8 years through time and patience, then you should be at least be able to pull off a year or two. Because I see too many people having a relapse. Why? Because they can't have enough patience. They just want to have it done fast. And if they don't have those results fast, if they don't get out of this flatline fast, what they will do is peak. Why would they peak? It's because they want to still know if they're feeling something. You know what I mean. And that will lead from peaking to edging, from edging to watching and doing, and then they're back to the day they failed. Which day one? Relapse. Such a shame. Such a waste. Patience. Are you willing to trade everything for a couple of seconds of pleasure? All those fetishes you have and a whole desire to watch, eventually they will be gone. I'm going to tell something before I'm going to give the last thing to tell. But when I start consuming sugar for a long while, and this occasional sugar that I'm consuming is just a Dr. Pepper once a week. Once a week. But when I was quitting sugar, after a couple of months, my whole taste buds changed. when I was drinking something that would be seen as just sweet, not too sweet, it was very sweet for me. Eventually, I didn't like it no more because too many sweet things can mess up your taste buds. And it changed my whole outlook on food. Because when I stopped consuming sugar, eventually I found value and blessing in food. I wasn't looking at food as comfort, but as a way to refill my body's demand for nutrition. I saw them as vitamins, macronutrients, macros, carbs, fats, protein, energy, calories. So instead of looking at, I want to eat something that tastes good, I want to eat something that is healthy, that's good for my body. Fruit tastes good, has a lot of fiber in it, but that is something that I'm willing to eat more than, let's say, candy or anything sweet in that regard. And nourishing my body was the best thing that I've done, because I will no longer feel terrible after eating a load of garbage. And that's the same thing is going to happen with NoFap. Eventually, you will see the sites for what they truly are. And you will no longer see those 4 letters as the 3 letters, if you know what I mean. And you will see that those 3 letters actually have a meaning with a spouse, with a wife. Because eventually you will feel that that thing has a meaning instead of the meaningless things you see that people do for a pile of paper. Let's admit it, just a pile of paper. Because it's not in gold or anything else. It's just money. Pile of paper that's losing its worth as of today, day by day. And that is how you will see that, the opposite of NoFap. So, we have to understand the following thing, and that is that we brought this to ourselves, even if we never knew the adverse effects. Just like being overweight, losing weight takes time through diet and exercise, and of course less time through fasting. But you have to be committed to it. And your commitment and understanding and accountability will lead to your door to leave this whole problem and live your life the way you should be living it. Now, I've been talking now for 23 minutes and almost 30 seconds. And I hope that I've explained a thing or two well about this subject. Please don't take this lightly. Like I said, this whole road to recovery requires understanding. And if you understand Flatlines, you will get through it. And if you understand what I've said, what to do and how it affects you, you will get out of this mess a lot earlier than anyone else. And I would prefer that everybody gets out of this mess a lot earlier as well. And I call them the 3 magic ingredients. Check it out on my channel. It's supposed to be there. It is there. I'm just joking. But it is there. You can check it out. And I will see you tomorrow in the next video. And maybe in a moment when I'm going to stream in about an hour. Around 7 o'clock GMT +1 Amsterdam time. I will be start streaming again and play Forza Horizon 5, and tomorrow I'll play more games, just not only Forza Horizon 5 but also on my Nintendo Switch or the PS4. I have no idea. I will just see. I might even play on my Super Nintendo or GameCube, for all that matters. So having that said, there's an important message coming right now, and it's called Doe normaal.